For a lot of people these days, adapting to the pandemic means finding new ways to do things.
Well, one local piano teacher is bringing the old and the new together to help her students. Steve Harris has that story.
I always wanted to learn to play the piano, but never really got around to it. So instead of tickling the ivories, I put pen to paper, and I've written a story about a piano teacher who's using puppets to connect to her pupils. Her name is Diane Myers. She's taught piano for 17 years.
I usually have a roster of anywhere between 50 to 60 students.
When COVID forced her to teach online, she was inspired by a famous neighbor you've probably heard of.
I thought about Mr. Rogers, and I thought, what would he do during this time of this pandemic? How would he reach these children?
Propel.
The answer was right there in front of her.
Well, of course, he would start to get, he'd start using those puppets.
So Diane recruited a plethora of puppets.
Penelope, and she is the piano playing poodle from Paris.
A chef, a bird, a bear, even a doctor.
And I started talking to the children about, when they go back to school, they'll have to wear a mask and they'll have to wash their hands and they'll have to stay 6 feet apart. And
It's a way of mixing an old way of teaching with a new way of learning.
for the younger students, they love it. The older ones roll their eyes a little bit, of course. I just keep talking with the puppets because I think eventually they might say something about how they're feeling. And sure enough, they usually do.
In fact, it's something she plans to continue.
Absolutely.